All dreams considered. All dreams considered. All dreams considered.
Welcome back to All Dreams Considered with Sarah. Today I am with Adam Ross of First Fantasy Books. And Adam, you have created something rather unique. Do you want to talk about the dream or the inspiration behind that?
Certainly. So I got my master's in teaching, and during that process of being involved in the classroom, I noticed a lot of students were disengaging with reading from early on. Either they felt the books were too childish for them, or the books that were their level supposedly had challenges, vocabulary or something like that was too challenging, wasn't actually for a beginning level reader, even though it said it was. So what I wanted to do was take the opportunity and fill that gap so that students could hopefully engage with reading early on and become lifelong readers, because education, the doorway to education is reading right now.
Yeah, great. And so you want to talk about the books that you've created then?
Yeah,
so here we have,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, here we have some examples.
What I do is I use actual language development models in order to format my books. So this first level that we've created right now and we're publishing this year are all repeated sentence books. We underline the word, the vocabulary word specific for that page, make sure that the picture on the page matches that, so that it eliminates barriers for the student that's reading it. They're able to make those connections and build those connections. And then in the back of each book has a spell scroll section, which allows them to then process and output that vocabulary, cementing it into their long-term memory. And so the whole reasoning behind that is we want to build that vocabulary, build that background knowledge. Moving forward into higher level books, they have that to pull from.
Oh, wow. So I was amazed I was here when a special ed teacher just came up and gushed over these books and the theories behind it.
I just got here a little bit ago, so take my time.
Have you found any, so you mentioned that you created this because it was an area you saw was lacking. Mm-hmm. How many people, other than Comic-Con, are there other places where you're showcasing this to get it into the hands of teachers?
I've reached out to several schools. Chalkdale Elementary School has been super supportive. They've called me in to do read-alouds. They've purchased copies of the books they have in their school as well. Corbett School District has had me come in and do author signings and purchase books for their classrooms. But we just started publishing this year, so it's a slow build. February, we just published our first book. That was kind of the end of last school year. So teachers were winding down. It was harder to get into the schools. So really this year is my first opportunity to get myself out there and see where it can go.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything I should have asked you that I didn't?
One thing that I do really want to mention is that we focus heavily on inclusion. One of the main barriers for a lot of students is they can't identify with the characters in the stories. So we've made a focus of that from early on, of inclusion. Our character Tish here in Explorer's Guide to Swords uses they/them pronouns. Kryn over here in the Explorer's Guide to Shields has vitiligo and also doesn't use pronouns throughout the book. And those are intentional to make sure that we include both physical diversity in appearance as well as gender diversity throughout the entire story of this company.
Wow. And did I hear a rumor that you might be starting a young adult book?
Right. The idea is eventually this will build up to a young adult teen novel. I'm about 3 chapters into it, but also that's going to be, probably step 10 of, of the series. It's going to be a slow build to make sure that the readers are able to track the story, use that story as intrinsic motivation to continue and take academic risks, and just encourage them to try a harder book instead of staying behind with just the characters they love. Those characters will build with the reader.
Oh, I love it. Well, thank you for doing your part to make the world a better place.
Thank you.
And once again, I'm speaking with Adam Ross of First Fantasy Books, and you can find him online, I believe.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All dreams considered. All dreams considered. All dreams considered.